Hey everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I just finished a workshop about imposter syndrome and I want to share it with you why I joined it at the first time. The reason is because I have a long COVID since October 2024, so it's almost 1 year. I got COVID on the way back home from my country to take my mom back home there, and then when I arrived here, actually when I arrived in San Francisco, I believe I caught the COVID over there because they delayed the flight and then finally they canceled it. I assume maybe they need to spray whatever reason because right in the airplane when we arrived from Singapore to San Francisco, I realized that my eyes were totally red. It's like almost bleeding. I didn't know. I thought because maybe I'm so tired, but usually I never had red eyes like that. So I ignored it. I didn't know. I just felt a little bit, like jet lag. That's what I thought. It was jet lag. And I thought, maybe because I'm tired, whatever, so I ignored it. I stayed in the hotel for one night because they had to cancel it, and the next morning I fly back home to Montreal. Then after that, I rest during the weekend, and then on Monday, I asked my coworker that I cannot come to work in the office because I don't feel well. Can you come to the office? And she said, no, I cannot because I already go out with my kids. I have to go out with my kids, so I have to be at home. Okay, whatever reason, so I stay I went to the hospital to where I work, and then finally I felt like everything changed, like I got a flu or something. And then one of the coworkers told me, you just arrived from traveling abroad, why you don't test yourself with the PCR, because we still have tests for COVID in our hospital for the employee. So I went right away because I didn't feel good. I felt like my body, being crushed, and like the muscle pain, the joint pain, the fatigue, the extreme fatigue, and I could not even concentrate when I work. And then apparently I got COVID, and then after that they let me to work from home. I work from home. Imagine that I was sick but I was working from home because I thought like I have so much to catch up, and also I don't want to make people in the office think that I just arrived from vacation and now I want another vacation. So no, I work from home. Anyway, I pushed myself too much, and then after that maybe a week later I was allowed to go back to work in the hospital, and I worked until maybe 7 p.m. every day to catch up my work. Finally, I reached the point on December 5th. I do remember they were organizing something, the end of the year gathering for the employee, and we were allowed to take the afternoon off from work. But that day, I told my friend, can I work from home? I don't feel well at all. She said yes, okay. So finally, I could not take it anymore. I worked until midday, like noon. And then after that, I text my manager. I told her like, I'm sorry, I cannot come to the party because I don't feel well. Is that okay? And she said, okay. Luckily, I'm right away. I go online. I went online to book appointment with my family doctor. At that time, my family doctor was available on the December 6th, the next day. I was so lucky. Usually it takes like at least 2 weeks to book her, but that time I don't know why. Maybe someone canceled the last minute, whatever. I finally booked it. I don't remember exactly. Maybe I booked it and then I called them, and finally they put me through. Anyway, point of the story, I went to see her. And then she told me, I told her what happened with my body, and I cannot understand why I've been like this. This is not me at all. And I got dizzy, I got super fatigue, I get brain fog. That time I didn't know the term brain fog at all. So what happened, I asked her everything, and she told me, probably you get the post-COVID. And I didn't know there was like a post-COVID condition that exists. And then finally she told me like, okay, you have to stay at home, and we will see. After that, if you still continue, probably you get long COVID. And I asked her how long the long COVID will stay, and she said, I don't know, like most of people takes like 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, whatever, it depends on the person. And then, oh my god, no, I don't want to be off for so long. So take a day off, like a sick leave, until January 5th. I do remember the day because I've been bedridden for so long. I have been bedridden for almost 1 month. So January 5th, I do remember the day because that was a significant day for me. What happened is I want to exercise. So I use treadmill at home, and then when I finish it, I enjoy the treadmill as usual, but when I finish it, I felt like my extremities, especially my leg, I got electrocuted everywhere, like bit here, bit there, like it's like like when you see the sparkling, the bubble, that's what I felt, like electricity everywhere. And after that, I didn't realize that I crashed that time. I started to crash, and then after that, I could not breathe. I got panic. I never had this problem before. I got so panicked. The more I get panicked, the more I could not breathe well. There was no one at home, so I text my kid, can you stop in the pharmacy when you come back home and buy me, I don't remember the name, loratadine or something, for allergy, because I had allergy. So when she arrived home, I took it right away, and it helps me a bit. And then after that, I crashed for a few weeks. Luckily, I was off. But then when I saw her again, I was off for a few weeks, and then not my manager, but the human resource called me, and she set me up with my hospital doctor, only for employee. When I went to see him, I have been resting for a few weeks, right? So I was having a bit of energy, and I enjoy it. I walk for 30 minutes because by the time we stop from the metro, I have to walk because his office is in another building. I have to take the way inside the Royal Mount Plaza, and then I have to go out around, and then I have to go to his office. By the time he saw me, I was actually in a great shape. I felt great, and I felt like I'm ready to go back to work. So he asked me, do you want to go back to work? I said, yeah, I don't want to be staying at home. I get so bored. I try to read books and everything. And then after that, he told me, okay, maybe you need to try a little bit. And then what happened? He also, when he checked me, he thought like, oh, maybe you're just, age because of the aging, because, maybe your body, you start to age, whatever, it's normal, and you just come back from voyage, from the trip, whatever. And then finally, he wrote a note for the human resource and for my personal doctor, that I probably will be ready to go back to work. I was so happy. Because I miss my work. I felt like my work is, the hospital is my second home, basically, because I met people and I felt so isolated when I stay at home bedridden. So what happened is, finally I managed to go back home. By the time I arrived home, I crashed, and then finally I met my doctor maybe the next week. So I was okay again. When I go out, I was okay. But this time, because my personal doctor, my family doctor's office is, I have to take metro, stairs, and everything. By the time I arrived there, I was a bit off. So I told her, like, I got dizzy and I started to get panic and everything. But I told her I want to go back to work. I get so bored, doctor. I don't like it. I feel like I don't accomplish anything at home by being on the bed all the time, bedridden. So what's funny is, she told me, okay, maybe you can try to work maybe 2 hours per week, and then we slowly, like 2 hours for twice per week, and then after that 3 hours for twice a week, and then 3 hours for 3 weeks, three times a week, whatever. I don't remember, but I had to go back to work slowly. I'm very grateful that I work for Dr. Roger, who is very nice to me, and he told me like do not do anything that you used to work, because I told him like I still have brain fog, but I want to go back to work. So instead he told me learn something. So I learned Medcom, because I really want to learn the AI for my work. And then I got the certificate. But my God, every time I learn something, I crash. I push myself, I crash. I push myself, I crash. After that, maybe by the time like I reach like 3 hours twice per week working, I finally able to finish the whole certificate. Yeah, but I had to pay by being crushed all the time, every time I learn something. So it scared me. It did scare me so much, because I felt that I was not able to wake up easily. I slept maybe 15 to 20 hours per day. Then after that, I even do not go out at all. I was okay because it was winter, right? But the thing, right, I want to exercise, and every time I try to exercise at home, I crash worse. Then my doctor told me, do not ever exercise anymore, do not do treadmill anymore, do whatever you can. You have to know, to learn about your body, the sign when you're about to crash and everything. And then at that time, there was not a lot of information about long COVID, and she told me like, you need to learn about PAM and POTS, and I didn't even bother to look what is it PAM, what is it POTS. She just told me like Google it, so you learn something about the symptoms. And then I think it was because I was on denial for so long. Yes, I think it was because of that. I was on denial for months actually, thinking that one day I will be okay, one day I will be better, and one day I will be able to go back to work and have normal activity. But anyway, what can I say? Until now I don't even cook. I cannot, because if I cook something, I start to prep something, and after that I leave it for days on the kitchen. If my kids do not do anything about it, it's gonna be not good. I don't want to have a messy kitchen. So finally I stopped. I order Uber Eats for so long. I have no choice. And luckily, alhamdulillah, thank God, my kids are grown up, so they are able to cook themselves for their own food, their own meal. And most of the time, if there is no food at home, I order Uber. Anyway, it was really hard. It's really hard for me because I'm not myself. That's what I found. And then I found this book because I want to know what's going on, and I always want to read this book, When Your Body Says No, from Dr. Kabur Mate. Finally, I booked it in the library, online library. I was on the waiting list for maybe 2 weeks, and finally I got the books, and when I read it, I woke up. Apparently my body says no. Before even have COVID, I have been on stressful condition for so long. I ignore it. I have to work hard full time, and I want to get a better condition. So I keep learning at night. I'm studying online. Okay, and then during the weekend, especially before the COVID, my mom was here. She has been with us for 13 months. So I was stressful because I have like like sandwich generation. I have to take care of my kids, my mom. I even forget about myself. Apparently my body says no. So in the end, when I read that book, it woke me up. Then I realized that maybe this is the way that Allah wants me to rest. And even though somehow I feel bad for not being able to go back to work and being a normal person again, like having a normal activities again, in a way I feel like I have to listen to my body. I have been pushing so much. Even when I had the COVID, I still work at home. And then when I thought like I was ready to go back to work, I pushed myself to to study to get the certificate, working for 2 hours per week, but apparently my body is not ready. So I've been on denial for so long, so now I am in the phase of acceptance. I accept that this is my condition now, that sooner I get better, inshallah, if I listen to my body. And then finally I searched the term PAM, post exertional malaise. That's when I crash. The POTS is when I have tachycardia, and then the extreme fatigue, all the sensation, like a buzzing sensation. I even told my doctor that, you see, I think I'm trembling. She didn't see it because I'm the only one who can feel it. It's like trembling, the whole extremities. But then I realized those are still my symptoms until now. So, there is a blessing in disguise in every situation if we search the meaning of it. Why God does me this way? And why me? Because in the Quran, Allah does not burden a soul beyond his or her capacity. So I believe I get test like this because Allah wants me to rest and to be in a better position when I get better one day. So I try to take advantage of this sick leave to learn something new about myself, about my body, about my health, and then after that I learned a lot. And then the other blessing that I had, because I got so bored, what happened is when I get back home from my country, and I start to have COVID and post-COVID, and then starting to have long COVID around February. So in December I got long. I was sick. I was on sick leave since December, right? So on February, March, I gave some webinars. Why did that? Because I felt so lonely. And when I come back home to my country, I met all of my friends. Not all, of course, it's not all of them, but I get reunion from high school to university. And then most of them, during the reunion, they asked me, how is it Canada and everything. So I thought, okay, now I'm not working, I get support, let me do the webinar so I can train my brain, because I know I have brain fog. So I did my research, I do presentation, and in the end I give webinar. And then I invite my friend and their kids and my family back home, whatever. And then I told them about Canada. And then after that, when the webinar is done, I upload the video in my YouTube. I have this channel for a long time, not because I want to become a YouTuber. Instead, I use my channel to watch movie or music, whatever. And then finally I upload those videos, and then finally I decide, no one watch it because maybe they're not interested. They just want to know because they haven't met me for so long, so they just want to know about Canada because they're curious. It doesn't mean that they want to come to Canada. In the end, I publish it, and then starting from there, I got more viewer who become subscribers, who later on they told me, okay, and the more I give them information about how to get a visa as a visitor, as a student, as a foreign worker, and the more I get involved with them, the more I realize that maybe I can do something while I'm sick. Maybe this is a blessing. I can help people. So I finally continue my YouTube channel. The more I can review the viewer, and then the more they ask me, why you don't have a WhatsApp group for us so you can inform us more. So I said, okay, I'm not working. I did the WhatsApp group, but in the end, like most of them told me, like, okay, we don't have anyone in Canada who can help us. Your information are really useful for us, but it would be nice if you or someone in Canada from Indonesian community who can help us find a job in Canada or study or visit Canada. So I decided, okay, let me try. There is nothing to lose. I try to make a company, which is not like not serious one. I just tried because if it doesn't work, it's fine. So I applied to the government. I got rejected because the name was not in French. I was done actually. The first rejection made me down, but then I said to myself, why I felt down? It's normal. It's just a name. Let me try again. So I try again and I got accepted. So I get my NEQ. Okay. I think numero down to represent Quebec, I think. And then after that, I start to tell people in my WhatsApp group. I think you guys send me private message so much, and then right now I have this business, I have to run it. If I focus answering every single private message, I won't be able to have a free time during my limited energy, because I have my long COVID. I need to build my website. I need to have contact here and there, slowly. So finally I decided, you know what, let me close the WhatsApp group because it doesn't help me. If they need my help, they need to understand. I need to take time to build this business. And then I have to make the website. And then after that, I need to contact here and there. In the end, it's all for them. Even though I'm happy if this business works, because maybe it will be my backup, just in case God forbid I lose the job because I have long COVID and I'm not getting better. At least I have a business on site. So now I start to know about my body, so I don't force myself. And alhamdulillah, so far so good. They understand. If you want to come to Canada, you are from Indonesia, or you are Indonesian in Hong Kong, Japan, Australia, whatever, you are Indonesian and you want to know how to become a permanent resident, how to come to Canada as a worker, foreign worker, how to come to Canada as a student or a visitor, because I want to help. I hope by helping people, Allah will help me and I can get better. Same thing about sharing my knowledge to you, because my business is actually to share knowledge, to train you guys to come to Canada professionally. So if you're interested, send me email. Okay, thank you for watching and enjoy your day, and thank you. Bye. Assalamualaikum.